Today my adventure will begin right here at this cute little coffee shop here in Lincolnton, North Carolina. It's called Grounded Coffee House. Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Today's definitely going to be a small town kind of back road vlog. We're going to look at some of these smaller communities here in the kind of the western part of North Carolina. I'm just to the northwest of Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is kind of the vicinity that we're going to be checking out today. I'm really looking forward to it. About a month or so ago, maybe a little bit further, one of the viewers of the channel left a comment, said, hey, you need to come to Lincolnton and do a little small town walk around, and that's what we're going to do today. And if we finish up quick enough in Lincolnton, we're going to go to one other town that's not too far away. It's called Cherryville. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get started. Hope you got your coffee. I got mine. Cheers. Let's begin. Oh man, that's good. All right, speaking of coffee, right here is Scooter's Coffee drive-thru. We actually have one of these down in Wilmington, North Carolina. But right across the street from Scooter's, there's this place called Lamp and Home Outlet, which is a good name for a store if that's what you're selling, home decor. But check out the cool front of this almost Alamo-esque building. Now, I don't know what this building used to be before it was an outlet store, but this thing is awesome. This is so freaking cool. This is what I love seeing when you come to small towns, is this cool, like artsy stuff like this. You just never know what you're gonna find. But check that out. You got the dolphins right here, these sea creatures. You got some orca whales, almost Shamu-esque like. It's a good way to start the day. I love it. All right, I made another stop right here at the Little Hidden Gem. This is an upscale women's consignment boutique. And they also have a computer clinic and sales repair shop right next to it, all in the same building. But if you walk over here to the parking lot of the Family Dollar, look at this really cool, beautiful "Welcome to Historic Downtown Lincolnton" wall mural. That really caught my eye as I was driving down the road. Yeah, man, I like that. That's really pretty, really nice. Love finding these murals in these towns. Hopefully today we might even get to see a few old school ghost signs. They're probably my favorite. Okay, right here at South Oak Street and East Main Street is this cool looking building. This is the Fine Art Academy Art Studio here at 530 Main Street. And this is also known as the historic Edwards Building. And what makes this building so fascinating to folks is right here on the South Oak Street side is an amazing Coca-Cola mural that I'm about to show you. Check that out. Is that not awesome? I love these Coke signs, Pepsi signs, these old soft drink signs. It looks so cool on that old brick. Look at the architecture of the building up there, like the roof. Look at that. That is fascinating. That really stands out big time when you're driving down the street and you look over here. I was just right here on Main Street headed toward the downtown area, and I looked off to my left. Thankfully nobody was directly behind me because I very quickly applied my brakes and wheeled it on in here just to show you this cool, delicious and refreshing, sold everywhere, drink Coca-Cola sign. Look at that, only 5 cents. Yeah, man, I'll take that. All right, I made my way down here on Main Street in the downtown area. They have some very interesting things you might want to check out down here. Look at this crazy looking like pot. Look at that. What the heck is that? I ain't ever seen anything quite like that. Pretty awesome though. But yeah, I think we're going to see some very interesting things here in the downtown area of Lincolnton. It's a very artsy town. I'm loving all the murals on the walls. All right, so I was just right up here on Main Street and I looked over this this ledge here. I look down the steps and I feasted my eyes upon these old window cutouts. And there's like little murals of trains and, like, you know, backdrops of cities and countryside all down through there. And then we have this little plaque right here. It says City of Lincolnton Rail Trail and Stage Project, dedicated June 20th of 2024. That is so cool. And look at the mural they have here on the side of this building of a train, which made me do a little searching. So this used to be an actual like area where there was a train track that came through here. And this is Main Street here in Lincolnton. And the train track used to go right beneath on this tunnel. And so this was just an overgrown, like years ago, this was just an overgrown debris filled area of old train track and just wood and things like that left over from the train days. And so they ended up taking that stuff up, paving it, and they turned it into a 1.5 mile walking trail for joggers, maybe ladies with strollers and things like that to get a little exercise. So I think that is very fascinating. That is a pretty cool idea, and it turned out awesome because it really caught my eye when I looked down here on the side of the building. I started seeing these little murals, and then that just got me investigating. And then when I seen this one, I thought, man, that is awesome. Love the train mural. That is really, really cool. All right, so I did make it up these steps. There's my workout for this morning. That'll definitely get your heart pumping, but that is the mural down below. That is awesome. That is pretty fascinating. What a nice little town this is. This is cool. All right, it looks like I'm coming up on yet another one of those crazy looking pots. Look at the face on that thing. That is wild. They actually call this, it says Piedmont Companies. It says Pots on Parade. So if this is a parade of pots around town, I got a feeling we're going to see quite a bit more as we venture down Main Street. And I got to say, this Main Street looks so southern, it's just awesome. I love this. These old shops down through here. And you know what I'm noticing also about these shops? These things are open. They're not a lot of vacant places. Man, what an epic looking Main Street. Wonder what that big old building is right down there at the end. I wonder if that's an old courthouse or something like that, or a city hall. I don't know. We're going in that direction, so we will be finding out shortly. Notice in the background, we got a mural up there with the word Belk on it. We know all about that. That Lincoln's largest department store. We clothe the family for less. Right here we have this awesome looking Lincolnton, established in 1785 clock right here in the downtown area, right here in front of the First United Methodist Church. Man, that is an awesome looking church. You don't see churches like that every day. That almost looks like something you would see in Washington, D.C. or something. But look right over here. They have another Pots on Parade design. Look at the face of this. I am really intrigued by these pots. I don't know why. I mean, the faces are not pretty, but I don't know, I just gotta look at it. Look at those teeth. Kind of reminds me of Beavis and Butthead a little bit. All right, now I made my way over here to the corner of South Academy Street and East Main Street. And check this out. Look at these murals. These are really, really cool. It says Lincoln on it, cut rate drugs, RX. That's pretty awesome. And then right here behind me, you're going to see some more stuff as I kind of turn around. It says buy it by the box, Wrigley Spearmint, Pepsin gum, the flavor that lasts. I'll be honest with you. Now I remember, I didn't like chew a lot of Wrigley Spearmint gum, but my dad used to be a fan of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit, right? Didn't they have a Juicy Fruit? It was like a little yellow pack. I don't really chewing gum a lot anymore, so I don't really pay attention if that's still in stores or not, but I remember I loved Juicy Fruit, but it didn't last long. It's like you put it in your mouth, you chew it for like 5 minutes and it's dead. You just spit it out, you're done. It's almost like that bubble gum, that old cheap bubble gum you used to get when you was a kid, you know, Bubblicious and stuff. It would be real sweet for like 5 or 10 minutes and it was just done. It was all gone. All right, I made my way down Academy Street just a piece, and right here's the Trim Barbershop. I actually spoke to the barber on the inside of the shop, and I asked him a question about this sign right here. Look at that. That has got some history to it. Right now it says Alternative Steps Dance Studio, but that is not what this used to be. This was actually an old Studebaker dealership right here. And if you want to see this sign he's got on the front of his barbershop, he was actually in the Army back in the day, and he said he can remember all this stuff. And right there is an old Studebaker back in the 1950s, but they used to sell them and work on them right here at this dealership. Right here was the entrance to the dealership, and his barbershop, he told me, was actually the showroom where the cars used to sit. So he told me if we go around this corner right here, you're going to see the old garage doors where they used to pull the cars in and change the oil. So let's go around there and check out where the old garage doors used to be. They're not garage doors no more. They're just regular doors. They've been modified over the years, as this, you know, he don't need garage doors for a barber shop. But we're going to just take a quick little walk around here and check that out. All right, now I've made my way around here to Water Street. Right here is the corner where the barber shop, that's where we was just standing. And this says Piedmont right here on the side. And notice we got the Braves baseball player Tony Cloninger up there. And yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Check out that. It says Piedmont style candy cigarettes. Piedmont, man, we see this every once in a while when you go into some of these general stores here in North Carolina. You will still find those candy cigarettes. I actually remember them when I was a kid. But the main reason we come around here, obviously, because I wanted to see the old bay door where the old Studebakers used to go and get their oil changed. And right here is where it is. That white box right there where that regular size door is now is where they used to take the cars in and change the oil, just as the gentleman, the barber inside, told me. So that is a pretty cool little piece of history. And one more thing before we leave Water Street that I have to show you is this really cool Pepsi Cola sign right over here, adorned on the side of this really awesome looking brick building. I love it because Pepsi was born in the Carolinas, in New Bern. I've actually been there before and done a video about the birth of Pepsi Cola. Drink Pepsi Cola. Delicious and delightful. Nice. Look at this. I found another pot here in the downtown area. But this guy here, looks like he's missing some teeth. Somebody might have knocked his teeth out or stole his teeth. That poor fellow. But just the same, right across the street, you see this brick building right there? Well, those 3 windows on the right-hand side of that building used to be somewhat of a famous theater here in the downtown area here in Lincolnton. And it was formerly the Rivoli Theater. It closed, I think, in the 1950s. And back in the 1930s, Captain January was a movie starring Shirley Temple, played there in 1936. So there's a little bit of history that you may or may not know about downtown Lincolnton. Used to be a really cool theater now, which now the owner of the building has actually turned the upstairs into Airbnb, which the people over there I just spoke to said it's an awesome Airbnb. And look at the rooftop up there. They even have a table up there. Maybe you can go up there and have a seat and just kind of lounge around. Pretty awesome. You don't see a sign like that every day. The Pickle Fetish Company. Let us tickle your pickle. Oh my God, this here is the Pickle Museum located here in Lincolnton, North Carolina. I don't know if I'm gonna be letting anybody tickle my pickle. I don't know if my wife would find that very amusing. That is great. Okay, I made my way down here to the end of East Main Street. This here's where Court Square actually begins. And this here is indeed the Lincoln County Courthouse. Pretty epic looking building. I mean, this looks like straight out of Adam West Batman type of architecture. You know, that is pretty freaking cool. Man, check out this old textile mill sign right here. Textiles. That is pretty awesome. That is a very bright and colorful mill. It says textiles up there. That is pretty cool. I'm going to tell you something. Not to get off the subject from a great mural but I am smelling pizza right now. And it's early in the day. I mean, it's only about a little after 10 o'clock, maybe getting close to 10:30. Maybe somebody is starting to fire up a pizza oven because I can smell it. I ain't kidding. It is like, the stench is thick and it smells great. All right, just around the corner here on Aspen Street from Court Square, this is the culprit. This is what I was smelling. It's called Good Wood Pizza. And it's probably not going to show up on camera very well because it's cloudy. But they have a little chimney right up here at the top. And that thing is belting out smoke. They have the wood-fired oven a-going. And that's what I smelled. I walked over there and I thought, man, I can smell pizza like right now. And we're probably about maybe 30, 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes away from dinner time, I bet. Lunch will start being served at probably around 11-ish. But yeah, I can smell that and it smells amazing. All right, right here on the corner of West Sycamore Street and Court Square is another mural here on the side of this building. And this was the Atlantic Ale and Beer. It says it was 10 cents. Never heard of that before. Fascinating. You know, normally when I come to these small towns, you'll see Pepsi, you see Mountain Dew sometime. You know, Coca-Cola is a fan favorite that I find a lot adorned on the side of buildings, but never have seen Atlantic Ale and Beer. That's a first for me. All right, so we was just right over there. I was showing you that Atlantic Ale and Beer mural up on the side of that building right there, that brick building, that 2-story building. And then I went across and I found this old picture from about the same location that I'm standing in right now. Look how the sight line has changed over there. There used to be one more building off to the right of where that mural building is, and it was an old furniture building back in the day, and right now it's just a parking lot. But yeah, that used to be a furniture building, and the Atlantic Ale Beer building was only 1 story back in the day, back in the 1950s. So a lot has definitely changed right there on the corner of Court Square and Sycamore Street, for sure. It has really changed a lot. Can I say something for a minute? Oh my gosh, I love the people in this town. Everybody is so freaking kind. I'm not kidding you, man. They see me, they see this stranger out here walking around, vlogging, making videos, and that most of them just think I'm just making pictures, but I'm like, nah, this is actually a video camera. And they're so forthcoming with information and stuff, and man, I just love that. It's like when communities embrace you because you're sharing a little bit of their town. A little bit. I'm not from here. I don't know anything. I'm kind of learning as I go. I try to do a little research before I show up. But I think it's just so awesome and nice when people just smile and ask you questions and just have a nice little conversation. Really cool. Lincolnton, beautiful people. All right, so now I made my way back down here to the First United Methodist Church building. Right across the way here earlier, I showed you a mural here on the side of this building at this little square area, and it had the mural. It said Belk on it, Belk Scrum Company. And the nice ladies I just spoke to momentarily ago said the reason that mural is there is because it shows you that this building right here, this Freedom Church, is now a church at this moment. This is the old Belk building. This is where Belk used to call itself home, right here in the town of Lincolnton. All right, that being said, my friends, I think that is going to kind of do it for me here in Lincolnton. I want to kind of move on down the road and look at some more stuff in some other towns today. Maybe Cherryville is on my radar. I want to make my way down there and check that out. But we're leaving Lincolnton right now, not because I run out of things to show you. It's just because we have to move on to do other stuff today. I could definitely come back and do a lot more. You could probably, I didn't know this before I came, obviously, but you can make an entire probably 30-minute vlog easy here in this town, just Lincolnton alone. There is so much stuff here to see. Really, really awesome town and community, and the people are great. Okay, let's get back on the roads, see if we can make our way down to a Cherryville now. Okay, so I made my way about a mile outside of downtown Lincolnton on Highway 182, and I come across this informational plaque. It says James Pinckney Henderson, born 1808 to 1858. He was the first governor of Texas in 1846 to 47. He was a U.S. senator, an officer, a Mexican war hero. His birthplace was here, right here on this property. And something that's very interesting I want to show you is look at this freaking boot house right there. Look at that. It is a little miniature boot house right here at the birthplace of James Henderson. That is crazy. I don't even know what to say. You can actually find this boot house on Roadside America. That's how I come across it. But look at that cute little boot house right here at the birthplace. That is so fascinating. Isn't there like an old nursery rhyme, little old lady who lived in a shoe, had so many kids she didn't know what to do or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the point of the boot house is, but I'm glad I seen it. I'll come by here. I knew it was here and I just had to see it. So there we go. There's the boot house. Welcome to the historic downtown Cherryville, where life blossoms. And I want to show you something. Right here on the corner of East Main Street and Depot Street, look at the street lights here in town. I don't think I've ever seen street lights quite like that. It's just one pole that like sticks out in the middle of the crosswalk or the crossway of the roads, and you just have like a row of lights. There is no like 2 or 3 or 4 lanes of left turning and the other lanes stay straight. This is definitely a small town when you see that, but I don't think I've ever in my travels seen lights like organized quite like that. Just the one little tree of lights facing 4 different directions. Kind of neat. Just thought I would just throw that out there. Never seen that before. Nothing wrong with it. Just wanted to document it. But this here is the old train depot station. And I wanted to stop here before we get into the nooks and crannies of Cherryville and just take a look at this little historic building. All right, I'm back here on the back side of the old train depot. As you can see, they have, I guess this here would be the original train tracks. This here's the more modern today train tracks is being used. Right here's the old ones, which, you know, it come a lot closer to the old Cherryville historic railroad depot. Right here, W.D. Brown Freight Office, it says. Model train layouts. Let's walk around to the front and see what's happening around there. Okay, so here I am at the front. It says free attendance. But right here is a historical marker right here. It says Cherryville Historic District, Seaboard Airline Railway, established 1924, National Register of Historic Places. So that is pretty cool. This is unbelievable. Look at all these trains. I mean, every kid when you grow up, you dreamt about this type of stuff being in your bedroom or in your living room. Yeah. Look at that. And this all awesome mural back here in the back has all the towns. Charlotte, Davison, Statesville, Asheville. Quite a few of the towns that I'm aware of anyway. Places I've been traveling to. This is so cool. And this big G-scale one that he has up here on the top was built by somebody here. You can see the train back there on the back up there at the top. That is so cool. Look at this place. This is amazing. All the little details that they put into this train set. All the little houses. Right here is some Amtrak stuff. Look at all these cars. Look at the lighting effect right there. Check that out. This is unbelievable. And man, this one over here has really got some speed. Look at that. This big old, got a big mountain here, like a tunnel. Check that out. Look at this thing coming. Thing's running like the Orange Blossom Special. All right, that was really cool. We went inside, look at some of the model train area. That was amazing. All the train track they have in there. So much history. Got to learn a little bit about a really bad train wreck that happened just down the track here in Cherryville so many years ago. Pretty daggone cool place. If you are a fan of trains, definitely come out here to the Cherryville Model Railroad Club here at the depot, the old depot area. And this right here is like where the waiting rooms was here at the depot. It's all been renovated, very nice on the inside. And then all the model trains, the most of them are right here in this area. They're all like custom done by these guys that runs this place. And they're not open very much. That's for dang sure. He told me I think they're only open on like maybe Thursday evening and Saturday morning, 2 days a week. I think it was like Thursday evening for a few hours and on Saturday mornings from like 10 to 12. That's it. That's all you get. So really, really cool to go inside and check out all those trains and get to see all that cool stuff. I grew up, I was definitely a fan of trains. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on down the road a little bit forward and see what else we can find here in the Cherryville area. Okay, right here on East Main Street, we have this really cool looking pink building right here. Right now it is a Hometown Direct here, but back in 1942, this was a theater here in town. This was called the Lester Theater. Opened in 1942 by the Lincolnton Amusement Company, named after local respected Dr. Lemuel Lester. The widow of the doctor was actually involved in the operation of the theater, and it was closed sometime in the mid-60s. By 1975, it was a retail store. So that's a little history right out of the gate here in downtown Cherryville. And right across the road from that is this little jewel right here. This is called Main Street Tire and Lube. And I think this is really cool. This old gas station right here, brick structure. You got some bay doors over here. And look at that old gas sign up there. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't you like to have, 81 cent or 82 cent a gallon for regular gas? I know I would. That would be pretty cool. But I'm really digging these old Erie pumps out here. These old gas pumps. That is pretty awesome. Right here in Cherryville, North Carolina. Look at this really cool alleyway right here between these two businesses. They got a bunch of children, got a lot of quotes from different people throughout the years. And they call this the Children's Artway. This beautiful corridor, a 2018 product of local artist and teacher Sherry Bingham, is an inspiring and engaging tribute to children from the early 1900s to the present. A labor of love in the world of dollars and cents, historical downtown Cherryville is glad that Sherry taught us to occasionally stop and smell not the roses, but the cherry blossoms. Nicely done when you live in a place like Cherryville. That's a nice touch. But yeah, this is really a cool place here. Boy, that is some old school stuff there. My goodness. It'd been so cool to be back in those times. That is really awesome. Right, here's a fun quote. That's the real trouble with the world. Too many people grow up. Walt Disney. Right here we have some Dr. Seuss. Adults are just outdated children. And over here we have Master Yoda from Star Wars. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is. That is so true. I'm learning that a lot being around my little niece. She's almost 3 now. Very smart kid. But she calls it how she sees it, and I love that. She will not lie. If it hurts your feelings, too bad. But that's just how it is. Right down here, Tim Burton, the director of, I guess his first movie he directed might have been Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But I always remember him because of the Batman, the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. And the Joker with Jack Nicholson. Probably still my favorite. I loved it. It's good as an artist to always remember to see things in a new, weird way. Yeah, that sounds just like a quote from Tim Burton. That's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and move on. It's a really cool little hideaway spot right here. Very neatly and nicely done. Love it. Oh, look at these kids here. Oh my goodness. The video games. Too much of that going on. gonna tell you something right now. I seen the other day where video games, consoles are getting way expensive. Who knows, maybe kids will start playing less video games because you might have to have like 2 or 3 jobs to buy a game anymore. It's crazy how expensive gaming has gotten. And check out this People's Barbershop and Hairstyling. Look at that. Look at all those deer heads in there. It's like straight out of Ace Ventura when nature calls. That is something else. That is wild, man. Looks like my uncle's house when I was growing up. Go there and have deer heads everywhere. Boar heads, all kinds of stuff. Ooh, look across the street. Go over there and check out that Coke sign. Right here in the alleyway next to Mr. Chili Express, we have Roy and Troy. Maybe that used to be GRO. I guess that was grocery maybe. Roy and Troy Coca-Cola. It's the real thing, Coke. Okay, so I was just speaking to someone out here for a moment. We was talking about some of these old buildings, and they actually told me right here in this entryway, they said Belk used to be right here. So I don't think, the way they told me, I think maybe these windows wasn't here maybe, and it said Belk across here in this area. They said I might be able to go online and find some stuff. But yeah, this here was the old Belk store here in Cherryville from 1936, and they said they think it closed around about 2000. So there's a little bit of Cherryville history right here. Right there was a Belk store. We see quite a few of those in my travels. Most of the time, the Belk stores that I show you are connected to some kind of defunct mall, that the mall will be pretty much abandoned and the Belk store will still be open. Going strong, trying to go strong. They won't give up. All right, I made my way down here to the corner of, I think it's called Mountain Street and Main Street. And this building right here looks pretty epic. It looks like like a bank building or maybe an old post office building. Couldn't really find any information, not even on Google Maps. I couldn't get anything to really come up. But look at this awesome mural right here. That is awesome. This here is the old Cherryville Depot that we just looked at earlier when we got into town. And look at all the guys out here with their guns, shooting their guns. What the heck's going on here? This guy's got like just a red jacket and a baseball cap on. It says shooters. And then everybody else, some of the other guys got cowboy hats on, they got dusters on. I don't really know what this is symbolizing, but they're shooting like across the railroad track with an oncoming train coming. Okay, so I made my way across the street to take a little bit closer look at this awesome mural right here. And the name of the mural, they got a placard right here. It says "Shooting in the New Year." And this painting represents 3 centuries of Cherryville's heritage. The Bavarian tradition of shooting in the new year was brought to the area by German settlers in the 18th century. The white pine trees that dominated the landscape inspired the town's original name, White Pine. During the mid-19th century and throughout Civil War, this area served as the strategic western terminus of Wilmington-Charlotte-Rutherfordton Railroad. In 1881, the town was incorporated and renamed Cherryville. The railroad expanded to the turn of the century, bringing prosperity to the downtown. And in 1924, the Seaboard Airline Railway Depot was constructed. Today, CSX Corporation operates the railroad, which, as we can see right here in the picture of everybody shooting their guns for New Year's, you see that CSX on the front of that railway, that train coming right toward us. So that kind of paints a picture of what this picture actually means. I'm glad I understand that now. Okay, cool. All right, I made my way down the street just a little bit further past the awesome mural, New Year's mural. This here is the C. Greer Beam Truck Museum and Gift Shop, established in 1982. But this looks like an old cool gas station maybe right here at one time. Look at these old Shell pumps they have out front. This is epic. I love this little building. It's so cute. These are so neat. But these gas pumps is what really stood out when I seen these Shell gas pumps out front. I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. Right? We gotta walk over there and check this out. This is really, really rad right here. Really cool place. And right there's their old sign up there. That looks pretty neat. Now we're going to walk around this corner because I got a feeling there's a really awesome mural over there, and then we're going to try to wrap our video up today because Mother Nature might start talking here in about the next 30 minutes, give or take. All right, so right here you can see the truck museum right over there where we was just located. And right here is the mural that I was referring to, Greetings from Cherryville. It's kind of a postcard through time, through different time periods here of the town. That is pretty awesome. All right, my friends, that is going to have to do it for me today because I can feel the wind starting to bluster a little bit. I think rain is in the future. It's coming. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Backroads, small towns, Lincolnton, Cherryville. Had a great time. Got to meet some really, really great people today. Talked to some people over in the town of Lincolnton and here in Cherryville. Had a great time. Learned a lot at the train depot. Never knew that existed. That was so awesome. Don't know how you will get to see it because they're only open about 2 days a week, maybe 2 hours per day. So if you're interested in them, you'll just have to get in touch with them and go. Maybe they got a website. I'm not sure, but really neat place to go check out. Awesome mural. Great way to end it. I'm all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, friends, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all soon while I stay safe and I try to stay dry. Because I'm telling you, the clouds, they're coming. They're starting to move fast. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit. It's all part of it. All part of the experience, though. Yes. Right here at the YMCA in Cherryville. So I think the rain is about to happen. The family YMCA.